Gunpla, Bandai's line of mecha model kits dedicated to the powerful and awe-inspiring mobile suits of the various Gundam universes. Big, small, simple, complicated, serious, goofy, there's always more than enough Gundam kits out there to make your head spin right off its ball joint. But don't you worry, every year I count down the best of Bandai's offerings so you know exactly which one of these tiny plastic mecha masterpieces is just right for you. Welcome to Mecha Gaikotsu's best Gundam model kits of 2024. Docking into the 10th position is Freedom Gundam. Which Freedom Gundam? Freedom versus Freedom. There could only be one for the 10th position, and I knew it had to be one of these two. But which? I gave them a bit of a playoff Highlander style as there could only be one, and the mighty Strike Freedom came out on top, mainly due to the high-grade Rising Freedom's heavy reliance on stickers for color accuracy. Not that the mighty Strike Freedom is much better. However, they are both pretty awesome model kits though, and you'll have an awesome time no matter which one you choose. Aesthetically, I was completely floored by the mighty Strike Freedom. Pristine, almost glossy white on gold, jaw-dropping angles on the armor panels, perfectly sculpted head. Just pop this in some nice lighting and all those angles just catch the light perfectly. This kit's biggest letdown, it goes for the entire high-grade Gundam Seed Freedom line, is the fact that it has a heavy reliance on stickers for the color accuracy. On the actual robot itself, it's not the worst. The main ones are these shiny pink stickers for the inside recesses of the wings, which most of the time actually look insanely nice. What we have in here with the mighty Strike Freedom is a complete redesign and retooling of the high-grade Strike Freedom with a brand new set of wings round back. Inside of the box of the mighty Strike Freedom is a decent selection of accessories with some nice options. We've got two widespread hand options. Melee equipment includes a pair of beam sabers and a Darth Maul double beam option, as well as a simple katana with gloss black blade, perfect for skewer and blonde lads. Also included is a pair of beam rifles that can be equipped akimbo, combined together into one long rifle, or stored on the side skirts in proper Freedom style. However, they do require 50 stickers to be color accurate. Well, not 50, but quite a few. Finally, an alternate blade antenna V-fin is included to display the disruptor in its firing mode up on the forehead. Sadly again though, this does require stickers and isn't color accurate out of box. Yeah, I know right, kits with stickers should not be in the top 10. I miss you, Witch from Mercury high grades. Pros though, it glows under blacklight. Articulation-wise, the mighty Strike Freedom is impressive, as is the whole Seed Freedom line in general. Some aspects of this kit, like the neck as well as the hips, feel a little bit atypical, so sometimes while getting it into a pose, it doesn't feel as fluid as it could. However, in the end, you do get nice, awesome poses. Overall, the great articulation mixed with the over-the-top design of the robot and the wings really does result in some intense, dynamic posing. So overall, in the end, it does win out. The final word. Overall, the high-grade Mighty Strike Freedom is a great little high-grade kit that maxed out all of its skill points in articulation, style, and attitude, and left none over for color accuracy. The one thing that does keep this kit from being truly mighty. Blasting its way through the cinematically slowly closing airlock of the 9th position on a pair of wings of light is the high-grade Destiny Gundam plus Zeus silhouette. So yeah, you might be starting to see the trend when it comes to high grades that they were heavily dominated by Gundam Seed Freedom releases this year. Don't worry, it's just the arse end of the list. Further up, it gets more exciting. First off, let's be real for a second. This kit at its core is a recolor of 2019's high-grade Destiny Gundam, which did not make it onto the 2019 Best Gundam Kit of the Year list. That's quite telling actually, and this isn't the only kit. There's a 2020 kit on this list as well that was released this year, that when it was originally released in 2020 didn't make it onto that list either. Yeah, rough year. So yeah, this might just be a recolor at its core, but also inside of this box is this Zeus silhouette. Like a giant mecha bird made of cannons, it combines with the Destiny into a raging beast of a giant high grade. Aesthetically at its core, this kit is a muted color version of the 2019 high grade Destiny Gundam. By 2024 standards, it's still definitely a very impressive looking high grade, but it is when the Zeus silhouette comes into play that this thing truly shines. It's huge, unique, armed with a giant cannon and finished off with some serious vigorous wings of light. When it comes to the accessories, this kit almost feels like a 2-in-1. Of course, we have the Zeus silhouette with all of its features, but we also have the entire range of weapons and accessories and equipment that came with the original 2019 Destiny Gundam kit. In here we have 2 stands to support the massive weight of this mammoth, multiple hand options including the widespread Palma Fiocina with beam effect parts. Also included is the beam rifle, pair of beam boomerangs, huge Arendite beam sword this time in white, long-range beam cannon, standard physical shield, beam shield, and some incredible looking wings of light effect parts. Articulation-wise, the Destiny Gundam itself is a great dynamic poser, but once you do add on the Zeus silhouette, it does inhibit the articulation quite a bit, limiting you to pretty much 2 poses and 2 poses only, but this mighty beast looks great in both of those poses. The final word. When it comes to the high-grade Destiny Zeus, this is the high-grade kit for those who want everything, all of the time, all at once. It's big or it's small, and it has a huge arsenal of weapons and equipment. Honestly, with this kit right here, you will never, ever get bored. Someone spilled some Digimon in my Gundam, and you know what? I'm not mad about it. So far in this list, it's been 3 for 3 Gundam Seed Freedom high grades, mainly again because this year was saturated with them, but don't worry, after this one, you will not be seeing any more of them. Because for me, the high grade Black Knight Karura was objectively the best and most unique release from the movie. Objectively, because my personal favorite was the Murasame Kai. Mwah, beautiful. Maybe even the Gyan Strom. Visually, this is a fantastic tweak on the typical Gundam formula, mixing in an almost Holy Knight aesthetic, enhanced by the use of glossy white plastic and an actually nice injection gold plastic. Visually reminiscent of Bandai's Digimon kits or Code Geass's Lancelot. Bad points out of the way first. Fucking stickers. They're only on the wings, but come on Bandai. Besides that, it's drop dead gorgeous, it stands pretty tall, flies even better, and overall, doesn't look or feel like a high grade at all for all the best possible reasons. When it comes to the accessories, we have a fantastic spread dominated entirely by beam effects for using with this kit's incredible wings. Down point. There's no additional posed hands in here, which is always a big letdown for a kit with unusually colored hands. Gold hands, you can't buy them. The swords in here are quite unique, as is the chunky square-edged beam rifle. But the main event, of course, are the wings with 3 different modes. The first mode is stored, the second mode is the funnels ejected with beam sabers going all over the place, stands not included, and the third mode is spread out with some nice red energy effects, which are actually just push out acetate sheet pieces, but they work out incredibly well. I will however mention that the wings in here, changing them around isn't a straightforward process and does require some swapping of parts, moving bits around, and always needing a lot of additional pieces on hand. Articulation wise this is quite good, but it is somewhat limited at the hips. You'll get most of the poses you want out of it, but it definitely excels up on a stand in aerial poses as opposed to standing down there on the ground. The final word. If you want a glitzy high grade that doesn't look or feel like a high grade at all, finished off with a thick coat of Lancelot, this is your boy right here. Rehashing its way into the 7th position in a slightly muted color to when we saw it a couple of years ago. Hey! You said we were finished with the Seed Freedom kits. No, I said we were finished with the high-grade Seed Freedom kits. This is a real grade. 2020 real grade at that. It's just the 2020 kit in a different color. Real talk time again. Rehash, botched real grade, 3 kits with errors in the manual, color accuracy hell. Okay, Cope conspiracy time, hear me out here. This year Bandai put the B team on the 2024 kits. That's my Cope. The reason I think that is because in 2025, well, it's the 45th anniversary of Gunpla. That makes sense, Gunpla started in 2020. If you think about it, that's obviously what's happening. The A team is working on next year's awesome kits. We've got new series, it's the 45th anniversary, right, please? Back on topic, the real Grade Force Impulse Gundam is phenomenal. So much so that back in 2020, when the standard kit came out, This came in third place in my best of the year, only beaten out by two monolithic Gunpla powerhouses, the light-up color-changing walking armory that was the harbinger to master grade expensive, the EX Unicorn, and the giant multi-layered king of perfection, the perfect grade RX 78-2 Unleashed. That's how good the ORG Force Impulse Gundam is. Actually, it may be my own personal favorite real grade of them all. It's great. Debatably the best real grade of this year. Debatably. So why only 7th place of the year? Well, that's simple, because it's not from this year. Semantics. Aesthetically, this version of the real grade Force Impulse is just a muted version of the original, a stylish, curvy, yet somewhat boxy take on the classic Gundam design. Phenomenal color separation, layering, and detailing makes this kit absolute eye candy. The only down point about this is the decals that do let it down somewhat, but you don't even have to put them on it. Included inside the box with the Spec 2 is a solid array of weapons, equipment, and extras. We've got a good selection of alternate hands, pilot figure, transforming core splendor, a standard set of beam sabers, beam rifle with moving parts, nice detailing, and the beautiful Force silhouette pack with optional silhouette flyer. We've got incredible multi-layered shield with moving parts, and if all else fails, the Force Impulse Gundam keeps a pair of switchblades handy in its pockets. There's a lot in here. The articulation on this kit is poetry in motion. Superb range of motion at every joint, nothing stiff, loose, or awkward, and it just seems to fall perfectly into the pose you want every single time. And it always looks gorgeous. Final word. This kit is a flawless, perfect real grade that excels at everything. Its only crime is that it's, well, technically a 2020 Gundam kit. You should buy it. What? We're doing this again? Really? The Master Grade Sinanju Stein narrative Gundam Verka is a masterpiece. As it was in 2019. As it was in 2013. As it was... Oh wait, no, that was a pilot shot. Okay, with this kit right here, I don't even know where to start. First off, the 2019 version of this kit didn't even make it onto the 2019 list. Just like I said earlier on, with the high-grade Destiny Gundam. Think of that. Two kits that did not make it onto the best kit of the year for their years are making it onto the list now in 2024. That is quite sad. Now, like I mentioned, this didn't make it onto the 2019 list. It was beaten out by other Master Grades, which were the Master Grade Dunamis and the Master Grade Barbatos. Man, this year's list is pretty grim, isn't it? So yeah, what's actually different between this 2024 version and the 2019 version? Well, first off, they did color separate the white and the black on the sleeves as well as the chest. They updated the shield, and they added a new skinny double-ended axe and a tiny Zoltan. Be careful not to inhale him. Yeah, they color separated the black and the white, and it still includes stickers. Still. When it comes to the visuals, it is hard to fault the Stein. Though a rehash or not, it's a huge, tall Master Grade kit with some nice details, some nice gimmicks, and overall it's just photogenic as hell. Inside of the box with the Sinanju Stein, we've got quite the spread when it comes to accessories. The only thing in here that is truly new is the axe. The shield has been updated in order to attach on the axe and color separate the logo on it. But the bazooka and the beam rifle in here are the same as before. The bazooka is quite dated in design and execution, but the beam rifle is quite nice and can use both the bazooka and grenade launcher as attachments. This, however, can load the kit down a bit, but strangely enough, the Stein does manage to hold on to everything. When it comes to the articulation on the Sinanju Stein, this is big, solid, and awesome, combined with great range of motion everywhere but at the ab crunch, which means you can get over-the-top poses out of it, and the size always means it looks ridiculously impressive. And it's not that often that I can actually speak about a kit that just came out in regard to how well it will age. I have a 2013 version of Sinanju Stein that's over 10 years old, and it holds up perfectly, so you know this kit is future-proof. Final word. Whether it's 2013, 2019, or 2024, the Sinanju Stein is still an impressive beauty, but I feel like Bandai making this a full release seems strange. I mean, they've made kits P Bandai for less. Now this right here is where the list gets real. Everything up to this point has essentially been just padding. No more seed freedom, no more rehashes. From here on out it's just pure, unadulterated, great, fantastic, phenomenal 2024 Gundam kits. Let's go. Blasting and stomping its way into the 5th position is the biggest high grade of 2025, and one of, if not the biggest bipedal high grade Gundam kit of all time. Ranked Gundarium tier, the high grade Destroy Gundam from Gundam Seed Destiny is like the second coming of the Psycho Gundam. Well, technically the second coming of the Psycho Gundam is the Gundam Mark II, coming this year, March 2025. Standing at a whopping 39 centimeters or 15.5 inches tall, if you include the backpack. This is the single biggest freestanding bipedal Gundam kit in the high grade line, rivaling the height of a perfect grade Gundam. That alone is enough to make this kit right here a worthy addition to any Gundam collection. Without the backpack attached, this kit serves up some major Psycho Gundam energy with a major Gundam Seed visual overhaul. And that's just visual, because under the hood, this kit is a lot nicer than its 2004 20-year-old Zeta counterpart. Nice crispy large parts, beautiful colors and molding, and no wonky hollow Psycho Gundam torso. Once the backpack is on, this is a monolith of a high-grade kit, but surprisingly not this statue that you would expect it to be. It's got nice posable hands, dynamic facial features, overall an incredible photogenic monster of a high grade. The only letdown visually is the green stickers on the arms. Definitely opt for a chrome paint instead. What a beast though. When it comes to the accessories with the high-grade Destroy Gundam, this might just be the wildest spread of accessories ever. It looks good enough to eat. What comes included with this kit is a stand option as well as one absolute cluster fudge of beam effects. When it comes to the stand options in here, you have a version to have this flying in the air, so if you do want this kit airborne, you can do that, as well as the smaller little variant that just snaps onto the bottom to allow you to just pose this kit standing there, just to prop up the back if you want it on your shelf for display. There are no additional hand options in here with this kit, but the hands we do have are fantastic. These are posable hands, but not your typical posable hands. These are made out of a nicer plastic, easier to clean up, and when they are spread out, there's a very nice curve to the shape of the fingers. Next up in here, we've got a cacophony of beam effects. We've got 4 huge ones for using up in the cannons. I will mention these have a little bit of an almost blue coating on them to give them a nice pink-blue multifaceted look depending on how the light hits them. On top of that, we've got an actual metric ton of UV reactive green ones for using on the backpack, chest, and the fingers. Like I said, these are UV reactive and glow beautifully. And if that wasn't cool enough, the hands in here can detach using the beam effects or not. They can be displayed separate from the actual Gundam itself, however no stands are included for using with these, but they do have the usual 3mm hole, so it does mean you can use them with any stands you can get your hands on. And that right there is what they look like flying around. For me, the biggest shocker with the high-grade Destroy Gundam is the fact that it can actually pose. The articulation in here is not bad at all. First off, I will mention the limitations. It doesn't have anything like an ab crunch, and the hips could give you a little bit more. But compared to other big kits we would have seen before, like the high-grade Psycho Gundam, this thing poses incredibly well. This really is the perfect large-scale high-grade Gundam. Finally then, the high-grade Destroy Gundam does actually have a transformation. Again, circling back a little bit to the old Psycho Gundam, the transformation with that was janky and did undermine the kit when it was in robot mode. With the Destroy Gundam, this is not the case. You simply just pop the chest to put the head down, bring the backpack up like so, and that is it. A nice simple transformation, but it does work incredibly well. Final word. Usually when it comes to a lot of kits, I would say if you're a fan of the series and a fan of the mobile suit, then you should go for this one right here. This is not the case with the high-grade Destroy Gundam. If you love awesome Gunpla and want a big high-grade, something that's like nothing else and great for display, then the high-grade Destroy Gundam is just for you. Blasting apart the 4th position so hard it's destroyed by the recoil of its own cannons is the Master Grade SD Wing Gundam Zero EW. When it comes to Gundam model kits, there's a ton of different grades: high grade, master grade, perfect grade, etc. And now there's a lot of debate when it comes to which is actually the best line. There's different grades for different reasons, they all excel in different ways, but if there's one perfect line at least, up until this year, it was the real grade line. Not anymore. They failed 3 times this year, and now the crown falls onto the head of Master Grade SD, a line that has given and given and given again perfect, excellent model kits 3 times in a row. That's the entire line. They're all perfect, and so is this one. The Master Grade SD Wing Gundam Zero EW is an absolutely perfect model kit. This right here is so good that not even a storm that knocked out the power for a week could stop me from getting this thing reviewed. First off, when it comes to a Master Grade SD kit, in case you don't know what they are, they're an SD style kit, as in they have a big head and a small, somewhat cute body. But with the Master Grade versions, they build up with the level of an actual Master Grade. Actually, at this point, it feels like they're building up with a level that surpasses a Master Grade. For example, if you take a look at the head on a Master Grade SD kit, the head has always been incredible on an SD, but here it's even better. Take a look at the eyes, the head cameras. These are clear parts placed over metallic injection silver showing the cameras inside. That is so premium. That has such life. On top of that, Bandai has been experimenting with an almost new style of honeycomb looking clear part. We've had this across the line so far, and with the Master Grade wing right here, they're inside the wings. These are nice blue parts again with the honeycomb reflective sections inside, placed once again on top of metallic injection parts. This means the light reflects through them so nicely and it really brings the already incredible looking Wing Zero wings to an even more incredible looking level. And speaking of that nice metallic injection silver, this is all over the kit. Underneath multiple armor parts, nicely sprinkled here and there in the inner frame, just kind of give it that nice extra mechanical detail. And speaking of which, you've got parts layering up from underneath, to give this nice multifaceted, multi-tiered look to every piece of armor on here. This combined with the already beautiful, iconic Wing Zero EW angel wings just makes this kit look incredible. Now, if you've never built an SD kit, specifically a Master Grade SD kit, just because of the design of it, I recommend that you give it a go. These are fully fledged, incredible Master Grade kits, just crammed in a small, yet awesome, cute body. And speaking of size, they're not necessarily that small, rivaling almost a high grade when it comes to height, but with hundreds of times the detail. This Master Grade SD also features a whole host of various different gimmicks and moving parts. All of the wing sections open up, we've got some sliding moving aspects up in the shoulders, opening extending machine cannons in the shoulder. There is so much going on here, and there's even a full transformation, which I'll mention later on. When it comes to the accessories inside this box, we've got quite a lot in here. The usual Gundam loadout of sword, board, and beam rifle, just this time being 2 beam rifles being the twin busters. On top of that, there is sticker style decals and an included stand to make sure the Wing Gundam, well, uses its wings. The beam sabers in here are fairly standard. We've got green blades, and when they're not in use, they can be stored in the arms of the wing binders. The main event when it comes to the Wing Gundam Zero is the twin buster rifle. These are extremely nicely detailed. We do have 2 of these in here, mirror versions of each other. They've got a ton of moving parts, nice clear sections for the sights, and of course these can transform slightly and attach together with extending barrels. The shield in here is just as nice as everything else we've seen. Great colors, we've got a clear green section in it, and a few moving parts that are involved in the transformation. Overall, it's a beautiful and very nicely detailed shield. And speaking of that transformation, the Master Grade SD Wing Zero does have a full transformation to bird mode. It is a bunch of simple steps, it's not that difficult to do at all. It transforms smoothly and simply, and in the end, it does look extremely nice. The final word. The Master Grade SD Wing Zero EW is a must-buy, as is the entire line. Actually, there's only 3 of them right now, so if you get them all, you'll be in on the ground floor. They're worth it. Everyone a masterpiece. It's the best Gundam line right now. 2024 was dominated mainly by the movie Gundam Seed Freedom, but that wasn't the only Gundam release that we got. We also got Mobile Suit Gundam Requiem for Vengeance, which did net us 2 nice, or dare I say phenomenal, high-grade kits. Now I will mention that Solaris Zaku did not make it onto this list even though it is a fantastic kit. So that does mean murdering its way through your squad mates into the 3rd position is the high-grade Gundam EX. Now every now and then a high-grade kit comes out that makes me go, This is the greatest high-grade kit of all time. It's happened before with the high-grade Calibarn, it's happened before with the high-grade Moon Gundam. I'd almost say it's happening again with this kit right here, but this one almost doesn't even feel like high-grade at all. It doesn't even look like a high grade. If you threw this up on a shelf of real grades, I don't think anybody would ever notice. This right here is in the interstice. This is the Daywalker. This is towing the line. It's on a razor's edge between being high grade and being real grade. It is just that good. It's got a lot of niceness to its build. Not quite as detailed as a real grade, but definitely a lot more detailed than your average high grade. I mean, it's got a full internal frame, and the payoff in the end is absolutely ridiculous. Before I actually built this kit right here, I didn't even know how I felt about the actual Gundam EX design, but after finishing it, I absolutely adore it. And that is one of the things that I do love about Gunpla. It can change your mind about a design completely. Aesthetically, this kit right here is next level when it comes to high-grade Gundam kits. The color separation of white and light grey is very real grade-like, and even though in the actual animation this is an extremely detailed Gundam, they've pulled this off in high grade so nicely. Technical detail in the recessed greys, technical detail on the actual surface, and even some really nice molded greebles molded deep into the parts of the armor panels. This kit just looks beautiful from every possible angle, and on top of that it's mixed up the usual Gundam color scheme by removing the blue to take out the cartoony look and subduing the red to a nice dark, almost evil aesthetic which goes with the Gundam EX vibe. When it comes to the included decals in here, and it is really nice to get included decals with a high grade, these are better than expected. They do what older real grade decals did, and what that is they actually attach onto full plates so you can't see the edge of the sticker's border. This, however, isn't on every sticker though, so some of them do have that edged border, but overall they do work out incredibly well. If you take this kit right here and pop it between a super detailed high grade and a real grade, this has more in common with the real grade. Like I said, this walks the line between the two, especially approaching the ridiculous detail of a real grade kit. When it comes to what comes inside of the box with the Gundam EX, it's a simple little spread. We've got the usual Gundam sword, board and beam rifle, as well as a hand for holding onto the beam rifle and a bit of a base adapter. The hands on this one are a little bit atypical. First off, they are in all white and they're not ball jointed, they actually just have a rotating peg. However, we do have an interesting wrist joint in the forearm, which does make up for that. The beam rifle in here does have that early Universal Century look, colors separated into white and grey, which is nice, but I will mention there is a sticker included for using on the site, which is a little bit of a letdown. The shield in here is simple but very nice. It layers up quite nicely in matching colors to the Gundam itself, but I will mention the logo on this is meant to be in yellow, so even though the detail and color separation on this kit is phenomenal, it could be a little bit better as it is not 100% color separated, which is mildly disappointing. When it comes to the articulation on the Gundam EX, it's okay. You've got a lot of nice moving parts and all, but it's not this kit's strongest aspect. Bandai definitely dialed all of the skill points into looks on this kit and not a whole lot into articulation. Honestly, this isn't really something that you can fault with this particular kit, because in Requiem for Vengeance, all the mobile suits are clunkers, so this does pose a little bit like a clunker. Again, the articulation is very good, it's just not as great as what we've been seeing from modern high grades, but it is source accurate. The final word. If you're the kind of person that wants a high-grade Gundam mecha model kit but thinks most Gundam kits look a little bit too cartoony and simple, then this is the most real-world, detailed-focused, clunky, real robot Gundam kit around. Jumping off the production line way too damn early into the second place is the real grade Granddaddy Gundam 2.0. So yeah, this one right here could be a little bit debatable whether or not this deserves this second position or not, but I'm going to try and put it into a little bit of perspective. I'm basing this off of the second batch of kits and anything that you can buy once this video is live, not the first batch that a lot of people would have built. Now in case you don't know, the first batch of these kits came out botched. The Vulcans in the head did not actually protrude properly when the head was built. Subsequent releases have had this fixed, but if you do end up grabbing a first release kit, it does have botchy, not fully poking out Vulcans in its head like mine right here. But like I said, if you're gonna buy this kit after seeing this video, more than likely you'll be getting a newer batch and the issue won't be an issue. The RX-78-2 Granddaddy Gundam is an icon, and that is why Bandai uses this over and over and over and over again for a testbed for new ideas and concepts when it comes to Gunpla. And that right there goes for the real grade Granddaddy Gundam 2.0 as well. This kit does build up with an inner frame just like we've been seeing with recent real grade kits, but the inner frame on this is absolutely next level. A lot of the time when you're building this up, it doesn't feel like a Gunpla at all. Parts kind of knot together in ways that I've never seen before. Some joints are multi-pointed, almost like two forks attaching together. The frame is ridiculous. It has to be experienced to actually be believed. It's just so intricate. The engineering is off the charts, and that's before you even throw on the armor. The armor then layers on top of this, allowing some of that inner frame through while still having tons and tons of detail in and of itself. What we get in the end is a ridiculously poseable machine that segments in a whole ton of different parts. It always looks dynamic and over the top in every single pose it goes into. It does look incredible. That is, unless you're sick of the RX-78-2 design. Bandai releases the Granddaddy again and again and again, so on and so forth. So no matter what they actually pump in under the hood at this point, you may just be absolutely sick of the design, which does kind of work against this kit to some degree. However, if you do love yourself some Granddaddy, this is in the top 2 most beautiful Granddaddies of all time. The other one, of course, being the perfect grade RX-78-2 Unleashed. That is a massive kit with massive detailing. But it's always more impressive when a kit is tiny with ridiculous detailing, and that is what the real grade 2.0 is. It's an absolute feast for the eyes no matter where you look. Well, except if you look at the Vulcans on the first batch. But yeah, again, that's probably not a problem if you buy a kit right now. When it comes to the accessories in here, it's your usual Gundam spread. That's the sword, board, and beam rifle, but as well as that we also have an included bazooka, a whole bunch of alternate hands, and some landing gears for using with the core fighter. As for the hands, we do have multiple hand options in here. These are all perfectly molded and look incredible. The beam sabers in here are average enough. They pop into the hands and do what beam sabers do. However, the way they attach into the backpack is recessed as opposed to pegs, which is a nice looking touch. The beam rifle in here looks extremely good as you would expect with a real grade. However, the hands for holding onto the beam rifle in this kit are needlessly complex for what feels like no reason. They're so hard and awkward to actually get the beam rifle into, and I can't see a reason for why they made them so awkward. They don't look particularly good or awful, there just doesn't seem to be any real benefit to it. The bazooka in here is very nice, extremely nicely color separated, even to the point of the missiles inside of it being color separated in grey, and you can see through the magazine into them. That's a very nice touch. Just like with the rest of the kit, the shield in here does look phenomenal. Nice, bright, and color separated in front, but when you flip it around to the back, we've got some extremely nice detailing. We've got the attachment points, but if you look in deeper, we've got this cool truss frame look to it, which makes it look very mechanical and very lightweight, while still being double layered. There are also some other cool little features with this kit, like the way you can load all of the equipment onto the back of the shield, the fact that the attachment point for action bases is under a little flap in the butt, so when it's not actually attached to the base you can close it up and there's no unsightly hole in its ass. But probably one of the coolest aspects of this kit right here is it's got the standard high-grade backpack adapter. That does mean that this is kit bashable with any high-grade backpack that does have this, which is pretty much anything that's been released in the last 15 years. This sky right here is the limit. And if somehow you're not happy with the loadout in this box, there is a sold separately yet premium Bandai box of extras, which include the Gundam Hammer, Gundam Javelin, and an action base. So if you do want a bigger RX-78 2.0 armory, that is available. When it comes to the articulation and posability of the 2.0, this is where art and engineering meet. It's a weird thing to say, you could say that pretty much about all Gunpla, but this is the pinnacle right here. This is poetry and plastic, and there's not really much I can say without saying everything. Everything on this kit moves perfectly. There's moving parts on moving parts on moving parts, and it is fluid to get it into every pose that you want it to. It is rock solid, it's beautiful, there's more under the hood on this kit than it appears at first glance, but you really do see it come into play as soon as you start posing it. It is absolutely gorgeous. The final word. Do you want the absolutely greatest small-scale Gundam model kit around? Get this one right here. Just make sure it's not from the first batch. So when I was preparing for this video, I made a video of getting ready, getting all the kits that are going to be in this video together. And in that video, in the comments, you guys mentioned that you wanted to see some awards like I did before. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about right here, back in 2020, I did some awards for various different best aspects of kits. The main reason I did it is because the top 4 that year were so good, all of them deserved the #1 place. It was so hard to actually arrange them that they all needed their own individual award. That's because all the kits were so good. That's not the case this year. But what about some awards for those kits that aren't the best? So this year's awards are as follows. 1, as suggested by you guys, most stickers. 2, Mecha's Choice. 3, the P Award. 4, the most unique. And 5, the worst Gundam model kit of 2024. Most stickers. And the award for most stickers on a model kit in 2024 goes to the high-grade Rising Freedom. What the absolute fuck is that in 2024? I'm surprised this sheet of sticker doesn't come with multiple pages and a bookmark. There's that many stickers in here. This is not funny. This is sticker hell. But the weirdest thing is, if you use 0 of these stickers, it still looks great without them. Weird. Too many stickers though. Mecha's Choice. This award is going to go to my favorite kit of the year, one that did not get onto the list. So the award for Mecha's Choice goes to the Murasame Kai. I love this kit to bits. It looks fantastic, the color scheme is great, it's got a nice simple but solid transformation to flight form, and overall I just absolutely adore it. Now it doesn't do anything spectacular, that's why it's not on the list, but there's just something about it that I love. You may find this yourself. Some kits that are out there, they're not the greatest of all time, they don't do anything particularly special, but there's just some magic about them that you love. Again, the Murasame Kai is a very average-ish kit, but it's just one that I personally adore. The P Award, as in the best premium Bandai kit, one that is actually worth a premium price. There's not many of them out there really, a lot of them you feel like you're getting a little bit fleeced when you buy them, but some sometimes are quite good. So the P Award goes to the high-grade G-Line Standard. This kit is incredible. I mean incredible. This is a completely premium Bandai exclusive. They made it themselves. The team at Premium Bandai did a great job. They built it from the ground up. It is like no other kit out there. It may look like a gym on the surface, but it is such a nice gym. It feels great. The color separation is great. The base model is absolutely fantastic. So much fun to pose, and it's got a ridiculously cool beam rifle. On top of that, there's incredible choice inside this box because this is a kit that comes with armor. With the armor on, it looks entirely different and the colors change so much. All the armor fits on great, and it's equally as nice with it on as off. They want you to buy 2 of these. I want you to buy 2 of these. I want to buy 2 of these. This is one of the only premium Bandai kits out there worth your money, and worth it twice. And the award for the most unique kit of the year has to go to the high-grade Bori Noak Saman. I'm not sure if I'm butchering that name, I've said it so many different ways, so many different times, but man is this kit unique. It's actually rare to see a antagonist suit from an older Gundam series, actually an antagonist suit at all. This one's from Zeta, just in case you don't know, and it is ridiculously unique. It's all in green, it looks kind of like a bear, it's asymmetrical, and at its core it's just a solid, awesome, high-grade kit. It breaks the mold entirely, and this isn't the usual kind of kit we do see come out. We see, well, tons and tons and tons of Gundam, actual Gundam kits. Not a lot like this. And that is why it is the most unique kit of the year. It's also fantastic. And the award for the worst Gundam model kit of 2024, and I mean the absolute worst model kit of this year, goes to the amazing Gundam Barbatos Lupus. What an amazing crock of crap this kit is. So I'm going to try and talk about this kit's heritage very briefly. On one hand, we've got a high-grade Gundam frame, known for being jank and crap. In the other hand, we've got build kits. The high-grade build kits are known to be jank and crap. Besides the core kits like, say, the Burning Gundam and whatnot, all those fringe suits were just out there to kind of reuse old molds, to kind of release a full kit, while saving some yen. Slap both of those together and you've got yourself the jankiest mess around. That's this kit right here. Whoever thought piling more kind of loose accessory parts onto the Gundam Barbatos needs to be taken out into a field and maybe shot with a beam rifle. I mean, this thing is so janky. And it's just, I don't know. It's janky, it can barely pose, it can barely do anything. The colors aren't even that good. I mean, there's not really anything nice to say about this kit at all. This is the worst kit of the year, and I mean by a huge margin. And I say that loving the Barbatos. Tearing into the #1 position to pumping EDM is the UV reactive light in the dark that is the Master Grade Narrative Gundam Verka. It may not have been the best overall year for Gunpla, but the top 5 this year have managed to hold the crumbling hobby in orbit on their Gundarium tier shoulders. The Master Grade Narrative Gundam Verka is the last warrior standing and marching slowly forward for Master Grade, and it does it in sheer style. This kit is perfection, it's incredible, it's gorgeous, it's got options, it's got add-ons, but at its core, it's just a perfect Master Grade, and it feels like something we just don't see anymore. If for some reason or another you were just going to buy one kit from this year, whether you're on a budget, whether you just don't have the time anymore to build kits, maybe you've just got a quick, fleeting chance to grab yourself one Gundam, then I would recommend this one right here. It's just so beautiful, and when you stand it up on your shelf, it still looks great. Get a little bit of blue or black light on it and it glows. When it comes to the looks of the Narrative Gundam Verka, this is absolutely ridiculously gorgeous. Now there is 2 options in here. That is it with these standard light grey armored parts like this on the left, or with the psycho frame attached like right here on the right. Both options are inside of the box, almost tempting you to buy 2 of these. No matter what version you do choose to build, it still looks absolutely incredible. Some of the most standout visual points are the way the inner frame aspects come through under the surface. The various different details like the recessed detail in the upper legs, the fact that you can see into the core flyer inside the chest, just like they mentioned in the anime. It looks unfinished, it looks like a scarecrow. This Gundam right here is the perfect unison of the new Gundam and the Unicorn Gundam. Once again, as mentioned in Universe, this right here was the prototype for the new Gundam. That's why overall it does have a little bit of a new Gundam kind of look to it. The psycho frame plates that are optional that you can add onto it are directly taken from the Unicorn Gundam, adding that nice Unicorn Gundam vibe to it. When it comes to the clear parts in here, we do have clear colorless parts included, so customizing this kit will be a breeze. But if you do want them in green like I have right here, you do have stickers included inside of the box. These are not standard stickers, these are more like plastic little pieces with a sticky back. They give the actual feeling of plastic parts as opposed to looking like your usual flat, cheap foil sticker. Overall, this is definitely Master Grade taking it to the next level, and it is a Verka kit that is absolutely perfect out of box. The one right here, nothing done, no detail added, no decals, not even a single panel line. It's that perfect out of box. When it comes to the accessories with the Master Grade Narrative Gundam Verka, this is a kit that will not leave you wanting. Except maybe wanting more Narrative Gundams. The reason for that is, you've got 3 options for the build. 2 are similar, 1 is a little bit different. That is the armored version right here, but you also can build this with the Psycho frame in grey or with the Psycho frame in Active NTD Destroy Mode Pink. On top of those optional build parts, we've also got the full loadout of sword, board and beam rifle, alternate hands, adapters and a pilot figure. The included hands are a pair of posed fists, as well as a pair of posable hands. Now, these aren't fully articulated hands, and I do feel they are all the better for it. It's just the index finger and the thumb that are fully posable, but the 3 other fingers are somewhat limited and attached together. However, this doesn't really affect the overall posability of the hands too much, but it does mean they're easy to clean up and very structurally sound. They're very nice, and we can pull off the important poses. The beam sabers in here are bog standard normal beams in handles. Those handles can be held or popped in the backpack or butt flap depending on the version you've built. The beam rifle in here is absolutely incredible. Not only does it layer up nicely with light grey under dark grey, it's got great molded detail including tubes and rails, and on top of that the magazine is fully removable so you can pose your new reloading the beam rifle. There's also 2 options to the build of this. It is very easy to convert one to the other. That is the Jegan beam rifle, which does look a damn sight better than the Master Grade Jegan's Jegan beam rifle, and you can convert that by just swapping out 2 parts into the Narrative Gundam's version. This rifle right here locks into the hands perfectly. It will not go anywhere. These hands are very, very nice. You can put it in either the left or the right hand, and when it is not in use, you can store it on the butt flap. The shield in here is very nice as well. It attaches onto either or arm using a little bit of an adapter rig section. And of course, this can also be built in the standard version or with the Psycho plates attached onto it, giving it a little bit of a unicorn feel. To add to the detail on detail on detail, the core fighter in here is transformable, so this can be either in its core fighter mode, the flight mode like so, or it can transform very intricately into the core block style and be stored inside of the Gundam itself. Just like I mentioned with the real grade Granddaddy 2.0, this does have a hidden base adapter attachment. You open a flap around on the back, and this can be used with a standard Bandai action base. I hope this is what we will be seeing for action base holes going forward. They're hidden, but they are in the Gundam itself, so you don't need an adapter. When it comes to the articulation on the Narrative Gundam, this is absolutely incredible. Now, I will mention 2 minor things. The legs wiggle. This is just, well, it's not a structural issue, it's just kind of funny. They do wiggle. I'll also mention 1 structural issue, and that is the upper bicep. The 2 halves to this should be cemented together, or the arms can pop off with extended play and posing. But besides that, this thing can pose up a storm. It looks ridiculous. It is so fantastic to pose, and you'll get it into every dynamic pose you could ever ask for. Overall, it is an absolutely beautiful, perfect master grade. The final word. It is sad to say we're not seeing as many master grade releases per year that we would have seen once upon a time, but personally I do prefer quality over quantity, and that is what we've got here. This is quality incarnate. It's an absolutely perfect master grade, and on top of that, it's an absolutely perfect master grade Verka, which is saying a lot. It's the best Gundam kit of the year, and one of, if not the best, master grades of all time. So anyway, that right there is it for my list of best Gundam model kits of 2024. Sadly, 2024 wasn't the greatest ever year for Gundam model kits, but it definitely wasn't the worst. We had a lot of rehashes, we've had 2 dud real grades, which is unprecedented, and we did have 3 kits with actual corrections to the manual, so there's a lot going on over at Bandai, but even still the top 5 this year were phenomenal. I still hold on to the absolute cope that the main team, the A-team over at Bandai, are just standing in the background, building up a kind of Dragon Ball Z spirit bomb of absolutely awesome model kits for the 45th anniversary. We've got the G-Quack starting this year out, which is a lot of fun. It's half Eva, half Gundam, and I can't wait to see it. As usual, make sure to drop your top 10 down there in the comments. It doesn't matter if the kits came out this year or not. What were your top 10 builds of the year so other people can know about it and other people can try them out? So here's to 2025. Hopefully we'll be seeing a lot more awesome Gunpla. Hopefully I'll be coming back this time next year saying that it was so hard to choose the top 10. Anyways, always thank you so much for watching. Make sure to come back for more Gunpla videos, and as always, I will see you next time. Once again, I kind of finished this video right here without special thanks to the channel members and the patrons over on Patreon, including Simon Paskin, Abraxas, Caleb Engelhart, Joe, RG59061, ShadowWolf179, Van Fawn, and Scotty Thomas.